So, let's see what's been going on with me because I haven't actually filmed one of these videos in a while. As you can probably tell, I'm sick. And so, how do I tell you the story about getting sick, right? So, Allison got sick. How many days before Christmas? It was a week before Christmas, exactly a week before Christmas. It was a week before Christmas. Allison got sick, and so in addition to baking all of these cookies and baking all these cakes and these casseroles and all this stuff, wrapping gifts and like decorating and stuff, helping my mom out with stuff like that, and watching Breeze, I was also taking care of Allison because she was in bed with a fever, and I wasn't gonna make her get up and make a bunch of stuff, you know? She didn't feel good, and also I didn't want her to be around me or anybody else because I didn't want anybody else to get sick. So she just laid in bed for like 3 days. And then 3 days after Allison was sick, I got sick. But whenever I got sick, I couldn't just lay in bed for 3 days because it was Christmas. Well, it was close enough to Christmas to where we had things to do every day. So I started feeling like I had a fever the night before. And so I went to bed with a fever. And when I woke up, I felt really, really bad. Like really, really, really bad. And then instead of, staying home, drinking some tea and relaxing all day, I had to go to the Nutcracker because we had gotten tickets that day to go to the Nutcracker. So we all hop in the car and drive to Atlanta. At this point, my mom's sick too, and so is Breeze. But I was the only one with a fever that day.
Yeah.
My mom didn't get a fever until the next day. But so I had a fever. We go out. It's supposed to be okay, right? My mom's like, it's okay, just put something comfortable on. So I put a dress with like extra layers on underneath my dress. And she's like, it's okay. All you have to do is ride in the car and sit in the theater and then ride in the car again. That's all you have to do. That's my mom. She's still sick too. Little did she know that we would be parking not close to the place we were going, obviously. I don't know why she didn't even think of that, and I don't know why I didn't think of that, but she didn't. We didn't. And so not only was it very, very cold because it's, December, the end of December, but I didn't bring a jacket because how was I supposed to know that we were going to be walking in the cold? I didn't. I was told we weren't, so I didn't bring like a heavy jacket. I just had like a little sweater. But that wasn't the only problem with the weather. It wasn't just cold. It was raining. It was like storming. It was raining so hard. And the wind was like knocking everybody over on the way in. And then when we got there, we had to wait for the rest of the group in the cold because we couldn't go in without them. And then we finally sit down to the Nutcracker and watch a bunch of ballerinas dance around. It was entertaining to watch, but I did not enjoy myself. Not only did I have a fever, and not only did everybody around me aggravate me because everybody was aggravated because we just walked in the rain and cold, but the people sitting in front of me were tall people. And I'm a small person, so I missed half the play anyway. Not to mention it wasn't, that great of a thing. I'm like more of, let's go listen to music and go to a concert. I wanted to go to a concert at the beginning of December, but no. We'll just go to this Nutcracker. It was not fun. It was not. So, I have some tea right now, some elderberry tea. Or, yeah, elderberry tea. Immune boosting tea. I'm almost out of it, so I'm gonna be sad when I'm out. Once the 2 hours of the play and intermission and play were up, we decided we're gonna go, okay? But first, before we had to leave, we had to change my little baby brother because he had wet himself. So instead of trying to find a bathroom, we just went into like a dark corner, put some blankets around, changed him, and then we were getting out of there. But the rest of my group, or our group, were like, oh, well, let's get these little ornaments for our trees of little ballerinas dancing. And they were cute. But the line was very long. And it was cold in there at that point. And then after we lost one of the kids and finally found her, and everybody was mad because we lost a kid, and we finally leave, okay? We finally walk in the rain, the very cold. So we finally end up getting in the car. Finally. We're finally out of the rain, out of the cold, in the car. Okay, there's something you should know about my baby brother. If he drinks too much tea, like sweet tea, like I think it's just because it's sweetened. And it might be the sweeteners that like restaurants or drive-through restaurants put in their tea that makes him sick if he drinks too much. So he asked for a drink. All we had was tea. My mom was like, well, it's okay. There's not much in here. He won't get sick if we don't give him that much. She gives him the tea. He finishes the tea. There was a lot more tea in there than she had realized because we get on the interstate and Bruce throws literally everything he had eaten that day up. All of it. And I'm back there with my fever trying to like rest because I have a fever and I feel horrible. And he's just throwing up and I'm like, yay. So that was fun.
I get it.
So we make our 2-hour drive home, thereabouts, with puke all over my baby brother. Right before he threw up all over himself, he said he was cold, right? So I give him my jacket because I'm a sweet sister. And then he just throws up all over my jacket. I haven't seen the jacket. I was so mad and so sick whenever I got home. I came home, took a shower, and went to bed. And didn't say literally a word to anybody because I was so mad. We get home. My parents are cleaning up the puke because I'm too sick to do it. And Allison has the animals to take care of. So she goes outside in the dark, in the cold rain, to take care of the birds because we have birds and the goats. And then she'd come inside and take care of the rabbit and the cat and the dogs. She went outside and she was out there for a long time. And I was like, that's kind of weird. But I was just like, sitting here playing on my phone, trying not to think about my pounding headache and my fever symptoms. And she comes in. She's like, Amy, 2 of our birds are missing. What? The others were injured. So what had happened, this is so sad. What had happened was while we were gone at the Nutcracker, 3 dogs, they were 3 dogs because then they came the next day and we saw them. 3 dogs came and attacked our 4 chickens and our 2 ducks. One of the chickens had trouble walking and she was gone. And the other duck, both of the ducks, we think were trying to save the chicken, protect her, because that's what the male ducks are supposed to do. That's why we have them. And one of them didn't make it because there were 3 big dogs against, 2 little ducks. So now we have 1 lonely duck, and he is very lonely. It's so sad. And 3 chickens. And our eye out for 3 dogs with a gun in our hand. That was a pretty bad day for us all. So let's move on. The next day, I was still sick, but I had to get up and cook for the next day, because the next day we were celebrating Christmas at our grandparents' house. So we were all up cooking and stuff. Well, actually, my mom wasn't really, because that day she had a fever, so she was like out. She was out of it. So me and Allison, we did a bunch of cooking, and we had to do a bunch of cleaning, and I guess last minute wrapping and stuff. I don't even remember. It's all a haze now because it was so rough and we were so sick. That day eventually ended. I don't think anything crazy happened on that day. It was the day we were supposed to take gifts to our grandparents' house and food to our grandparents' house, and we did. And it was fine, except we were all still so sick. It took us forever to get things done because we were horrible feeling. And we got there late. Everybody was waiting on us to eat, and we didn't even really eat. So that was that. And then we opened gifts, and we didn't stay long either. We stayed as long as we could, and then we came home and fell asleep because we were all so sick and tired. And then Christmas Eve came. And Christmas Eve was okay. Christmas Eve was the best I felt. The problem is I had so much to do. So we finally got both of the cakes finished. Kitty's in my lap. Say hi, kitty. So we finally got most of the cakes finished and a few of the stuff for the next day, for Christmas Day. And we did a bunch of little sandwiches for... Sorry, my ears need a pop. We made a bunch of little sandwiches for that night to have on Christmas Eve, and eggnog and stuff like that. And that day finally ended. That was a rough day too, because we were on our feet all day. Cooking. And then Christmas came, Christmas morning, and I had a fever. I woke up with a fever on Christmas Day. And so what did I do Christmas Day? I got up, I drank some elderberry tea, I drank some orange juice, and opened gifts, and then I took a 5-hour nap. And then when I woke up, I ate some dressing, fell back asleep. And that was my Christmas. Why are you licking me? I did have a good Christmas. I barely remember it though. So all I know is yesterday was it. I was back in my right mind after being sick, and I cleaned the room, and it's so clean right now. I'm so proud of myself. And I was like cleaning up stuff. I was like, oh, I forgot I got this for Christmas. This is awesome. So I did that a lot yesterday. But this has been Tea with Amy. It's been a rough 2 weeks here in my house. But we made it through, and now we're just sitting around eating leftovers and watching movies all the time. Me and Allison have been on a Christopher Nolan kick, and we watched all the Batman movies. and we watched The Prestige and Inception and I Am Living right now. They're all so good. That's how my Christmas went. Let me know how your Christmas went. I would love to know because we're friends, right? So just like DM me on Twitter or Instagram or comment below. Let me know how your Christmas was. And yeah, what was your favorite thing about this Christmas? Bummer just got a brush in. Both my feet are falling asleep. Anyway, this has been Tea with Amy, and I hope you had a great Christmas. Bye. Bo, do you want to say bye? Say bye. Bye.